Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Speaking of nuggets of hope. Okay. So in this photo, it's the light is very soft. It's probably raining outside. It looks like it's autumn. Northern East Coast. I mean, in the far distance, you can just sort of see a bit of the kind of weird deciduous. There's maybe some grass, some leaves on the lawn. Hard to know. I'm basically describing what the photo isn't. But what the photo is a very close, warm, intimate, sweet portrait of you holding up a fresh, brand new baby. I think this is called, you call it grandma.
That was my little nugget of hope that arrived in October.
Oh, okay.
First grandbaby. I'm a grandma.
Congrats. And very nice. October. What's the date exactly? October
11th.
Very nice. Okay. Sure. For those who were born October 11th who are listening to this, congratulations.
Yeah, that was really very, very exciting because I had just had lung surgery 4 weeks prior to that.
Lung.
Yes.
Okay.
Lung
Wow.
surgery.
Okay.
Like a part of my lung was removed.
Whoa.
And nothing. There was once everything was checked and everything, I'm fine. There's no cancer or anything, but there was something in there that shouldn't have been, so it had to be removed. So
Right.
all of that was happening while my daughter was 8 months pregnant, and it was all kind of weird emotionally. She was stressed, and I didn't want her to be stressed because she was 8 months pregnant, and she came and helped take care of me when I got home from the hospital because I could do nothing. And it was a very long recovery period for me.
Well, as can be imagined.
Today is 9 weeks, and I'm still in it. I'm not 100% bounced back, but my doctors say I'm doing much, much better than they anticipated. That I'm,
Nice.
doing much better. So, but it was really rough. And when that little nugget arrived, safe and sound and healthy, and my daughter's texting me from the delivery room because I couldn't go to the hospital. And I'm at home waiting, when I got, she sent me pictures of her holding the baby and her husband, and everybody was healthy and fine. That was my motivator. That was my nugget of hope, my motivator to say, don't let this pain overcome you. You're going to be stronger than the pain you're in right now. You're going to breathe better. You're going to be able to walk better. You're going to be able to do things better. Just, this is why. This is why this wasn't cancer. This is why you're still here because of this little nugget that was just born. So that was my nugget. So that was a picture I had to include in this.
So because I'm the kind of person who doesn't go away from these sorts of things, what was the source of your lung dysfunction? Was it something from smoking? Was it from work related?
No.
Fuel?
2 years ago, I fell helping my mother in her bathroom, and I fell and cracked my ribs. So I got a chest x-ray, and they said, you have a lung nodule. And I said,
wow,
what does that mean? And then when I went to a pulmonologist, the specialist, he said, so many people have lung nodules, but they never know about it because you only find them when you get a chest x-ray, like you when you fell. And he goes, but they're very, very common. They are not from smoking. They're not from any particular thing. Mainly what they see they're from is like scar tissue.
Yeah.
Or if you had an infection, a lung infection of some sort, bronchial, at any time in your life, that could cause scar tissue in there.
Right.
And then that can grow and turn into a nodule. So they couldn't determine, but it did not present as cancer. So I didn't have to have anything done, just had to have CAT scans every 4 months.
Okay.
But then the one CAT scan, they said, Kim, it grew. We don't like to see anything grow. And I went,
Right.
But you said it wasn't cancer. And they said, we
Right.
cannot 100% say it's not because it grew. And now you have something growing in your lung that should not be there. We recommend removing it.
Right.
And then, of course, my brain goes, ah,
Sure.
you're going into my lung. And it's called a lung resection, a wedge resection. So they get, and I was picturing it like a slice of pizza. They go in and they take a slice out, which they did. And they did it with a robot, which was really interesting.
Huh.
So it makes the recovery apparent. It's not as invasive, and the recovery is apparently easier. All I know is what I went through. So
Sure. Of course. Of course.
it's
Of
not
course.
easy. It's not easy, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's not. It's that's
Or the fate of
serious.
lung.
No, it's a serious surgery.
Sure.
But yeah, they removed it, and they have a pathologist apparently in there during surgery to do like a quick rapid check to
Hmm.
see what it is. And they said it was all benign. And then 2 weeks later,
Mm.
they sent me the actual report, with all the technical details saying it was benign. So yeah, there's no reason. I mean, they can't say for 100% sure why people have them, but a lot of people, a large percentage of the population have them. You just don't know it.
So when you're like in terms of how it manifested after the operation, right? So obviously your body's like, okay, I have to cope, I have to heal, I have to deal with this. And particularly with your lungs, that's breath, right? So you're just like, so in terms of how it felt, did it mean that you could only breathe shallowly? Did it mean that you could only you're forced by the doctors to say, okay, listen, you can only take 3 stairs and no more? Like, how did it manifest in terms of your rehab?
The first week, I coughed a lot, and it was painful to breathe. I was literally coughing up chunks of lung. You know how you
Wow,
like,
wow.
you know how when you get real sick and well, at least I don't know, maybe you don't, but me and my family, my sisters do. When you get sick and you're like coughing up and you're coughing up all that crud, and we're like, oh, I just
Mm-hmm.
hawked up a chunk of lung. That's
Mm-hmm.
jokingly what we would say. And that first week, that's what I was doing. That was hard because
Yeah.
coughing hurt like the dickens.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt to cough because remember, they removed a chunk of my lung, but it was a robot who did it that did it. So I also had 6 incisions.
Okay.
So there's all those muscles and
Right,
everything.
right, right.
So my whole left side of my torso hurt, and then
Sure.
internally hurt. It didn't really. That first week was tough. It was.
No, for sure. Obviously.
But every day after that, every day was a little bit better. And it wasn't hard to breathe. I just found myself being so careful
Right.
doing anything because my whole side of my torso, I had stitches and different
Sure.
incisions. So yeah, it wasn't, and I wasn't allowed to lift anything. I wasn't, and I listened to what my body told me. Did I do stairs?
Mm.
No. Every day I tried to walk like 5 steps more
Mm-hmm.
because I got breathless very easy.
Right. But in the photo, for example, you're holding this newborn. She looks like maybe she's a week old.
Yeah, she is yeah. I think she was 9, 10 days there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. In a way, what I want to do is I want to pull back a little bit and say, okay, how is this inspiring for the listener who has, so for example, somebody who doesn't have a dog, who sees your book, what do I say? I say, well, it's like, if you never experienced it before, this is the kind of the window to experience that can hopefully inspire you. So in terms of this photo, what is the window of experience that we can inspire a listener in terms of either how you punch through the dark days if you had them, because obviously going through a difficult surgery is when you're by yourself in your own thoughts, you're going to go to some dark places. So what can we tell somebody who's listening to kind of inspire them to go like, okay, it's within you to kind of have that resilience.
You can't let, and I call it the D-man, the devil
Okay.
will perch on my shoulder. My thoughts prior to surgery went so dark, and which is not healthy.
But normal.
Normal, yes. But I live with PTSD, so it was a little heightened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I knew the signs that, okay, danger, danger,
Yeah.
mayday, mayday. But my ray of light, my little spark, my nugget of hope was reminding myself, you've got a beautiful daughter who is just weeks away from giving birth to your first and more than likely only grandchild, just
Mm-hmm.
due to circumstances my daughter has.
Sure.
So it's a miracle that it's happening because
Yep.
she's an older mom. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's a miracle. And why am I forgetting that and letting myself sink into darkness? So for me, I have to find that spark. I've got to find that little nugget of hope, that little spark of light
Mm-hmm.
to keep me going. I cannot let myself sink so far down into that barrel. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a visual picture for you, because this is how my brain works.
Sure.
You're in the bottom of that barrel, all that gunky, oily, slimy crud, and you're down at the bottom of the barrel, and you're just hanging on by your fingertips to the lip of the barrel. And you're
Mm-hmm.
scrabbling with your feet, but all that slime and stuff is so slippery, you can't get a good hold with your feet to pull yourself up out and over that barrel. And so you keep looking down at your feet. Well, looking down's not doing you any good because it's dark down there. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're only hanging on by your fingertips, you're still hanging on by your fingertips. Instead of looking down at your feet, look up, because that's where the light is.
Okay.
And that's what I had to do. And that's what I
Nice.
did. And so my focus was, there's a baby coming and you're going to be a grandma, and you're going to be one hell of a grandma. So
Nice.
get through this surgery, push through the recovery, do whatever you have to do to get better and get healthy, because you're going to be one of those cool grandmas that this grandchild's going to be like, you have to meet my grandma because she's so cool.
Sure. Nice.
you know?
Nice. Respect. Absolutely. Well, you see, like I can only respond to within our conversation, and you are radiating the same light that's got it's got an edge to it that maybe wasn't there when we spoke the last time, but the light is still there, and I really appreciate it. Let's move on to the next photo.
Okie doke.
So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.